XRP price prediction, everything just changed, right? And Steph's Crypto has been pretty clear and vocal about XRP. Seems like crypto right now is still very bullish. Like a lot of people I have seen talking about XRP are still, they're still happy about it. It's not like, in August, I kind of like 2021, I saw the same patterns that I see now where yes, the prices were down, but people didn't really lose that much hope. Of course, there's some new people complaining, but that is pretty normal in the crypto markets.
XRP holders, the XRP price is getting close to the next major move higher here in the market. And in this quick video, I want to show you a lot of data points, a lot of TA stuff that is currently pointing to much more upside for XRP. I'm going to share my...
So yeah, he's sharing a lot of good stuff. That's why I like really watching his channel. But some of the stuff we both agree on, some of the stuff I disagree, but I could be totally wrong in that case. He's probably better at price predictions, but I'm better at like looking at the news and checking what everything is happening. But look at this rally. It's absolutely beautiful, and we saw 92% go up. Now, I feel like to go 92% up again, he's been calling for another rally of 92%. But to literally see like this, it would have to be better than the last one, which last one was easier to obtain. So you would have to be like everything perfectly lined up, right? To see a rally to $4.5 without any pressure. But we have seen it once. Maybe we can see it again. The issue is I feel like there's going to be some pressure before we actually reach those $4, because this was when it was easier. Going to 1.7 to 3 is way easier than going from 3 to 4.5.
We are currently almost spotting a bullish crossover on the MACD for XRP on the 12-hourly time frame. And the last time that we had this bullish flip on the MACD moving averages was literally at the end of June last year, and the price went up by almost 100% in a relatively short amount of time. So this is definitely a signal that you don't want to ignore. And I said June last year, I mean June of 2025, of course, because this is the 12-hourly time frame. But I do believe that we could see something similar for XRP, and I will give you the price targets in a minute, so definitely stay tuned here in the video. Also here, guys, we're seeing a successful bullish retest for XRP on the 2-week time frame. We had this multi-month consolidation phase since the end of November last year. XRP broke out recently, we saw a retest, and it looks like we're seeing continuation back to the upside right now.
So yeah, what I like is that after we got to $2.7, literally people tried to rally it back up. So people definitely have not forgotten about XRP in August, because if they did, I was expecting we would go back to like $2.3, $2.2, right? But we are seeing that recovery. We're seeing that momentum push. People really wish for it to go to 3.6. And the whales are buying in. Everyone is basically chimping in, is doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and trying to get it back to 4. The issue and a concern I have here is we're still waiting for the US to do its own thing as well.
Now, so this is a major bullish development. Also, if we take a look at the trend ribbon for XRP on the weekly time frame, we do have a confirmed buy signal right now, a bullish flip of the trend ribbon. And the last time this happened was at the beginning of November. So this is also bullish. Same thing for H-bar, bullish flip of the trend ribbon. And yeah, I do think that XRP, H-bar, and a lot of other altcoins could see massive gains here in the rest of 2000.
I also don't think you can I could be totally wrong here, right? But the issue is you can't compare other tokens to what XRP is about to do. Because the other tokens did not have a lawsuit. They did not have all the same technology. I feel like every single coin that we see right now is its own thing. So if Solana is moving on its own, if H-bar is moving on its own, it might be a US company. It might be similar in that way. But in terms of utility, in terms of the partnerships, again, Ripple is the only one out of all cryptos that's working with a bank right now. So that's what really makes it strong. And that's what makes me happy because, it's one of a kind. It's like an NFT.
25, so pay very close attention right now. Another super interesting signal, sorry guys, is of course this upward sloping trend line, multi-year trend line, which has been in place since 2021 for XRP with 3 touch points so far. We got rejected 2 weeks ago, but the next attempt, I do believe that there is a high chance that XRP could break through this trend line and that we could literally.
So yeah, I feel like to see this trend line, it will take a few weeks. But this trend line is literally following like pumps up every single altcoin market. So I'm not too sure how much it's connected. But this one I liked. This one that he talked about, 2017, right? This one I don't believe that much because it literally looks to me as when 2021 pumped. You know, if you went to 2017, you probably didn't see that trend line. But this is what happens every 4 years in crypto. It goes up.
To all of these signs that I'm currently pointing out, it also looks that history is repeating once again for XRP, because if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the bull run from 2017, which was a 5-wave move according to Elliott Wave. We also had consolidation phase or correction phase in the middle of that bull run. And if you focus on the right hand side of the screen, this current bull run from 2025 looks fairly similar with a 5-wave move once again.
So yeah, 2017 markets were also different, but we saw the same thing in 2021 where XRP was waiting for another rally, trying to, you know, rebound, trying to just stay a bit still, then go for another run. Again, guys, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So that is the big thing that we're seeing right now, is like we're still not fully at peak yet. We still haven't hit in 2025 the peak that we were wishing to see everything explode. And I feel like we're going to hit it.
XRP and for crypto, of course. And one of the things that I also like to use is actually the altcoin season index. We're currently seeing 43 on this index, which means that there is still massive room for more growth there in the short term. But whenever this meter goes, I would say above 75 is the point where you want to lock in some profits. That is what I'm going to do, not financial advice, of course. But historically, whenever this meter goes above 75, we tend to see a significant correction in the altcoin space. So yeah, you want to be invested whenever this meter goes below 25. You want to hold on to your altcoins and you want to sell or take profits above 75. But that is, of course, your own choice, not financial advice. And also, guys, if you want to take advantage.
So yeah, it's been 2025 and we haven't even hit the peak yet of the altcoin season. Basically means XRP has been basically growing on its own the last few months. It did not follow any other trends. And that's what I like to see. It did not have to follow anyone else. It went on its own path and it followed the Bitcoin's growth while other cryptos like Solana were still down. And now, guess what? It's going to join other cryptos, other altcoins. Because Bitcoin and XRP had its run, but XRP was literally, you know, it was kind of like trying to catch up to the price after getting listed on all these exchanges, the SEC drop lawsuit. So that was the real price. I feel like $2 or whatever it was, that was the price it deserved, $1.5. I mean, like I was looking at 30 cents and I thought, wow, that is really cheap. At 30 cents and it's one of the top cryptos. But again, 2022 is way different markets. But right now we're seeing, you know, this absolutely exploding and going to its real price, which real price could be 366 right now. Nobody knows where it's going to try to go for that price discovery.
The speculation. Another very interesting signal is that a lot of whales are currently closing their short positions.
So yeah, this is the bullish one. Closing a short on 1.35 million, basically saying that, okay, it's not going to drop. And it literally went up to 3.7 cents. But he bet 1.35 million. So this whale knows something.
Just on XRP, but also on Ethereum and other altcoins. And this is also very important data to watch closely. Also, the XRP ledger just hit 7.3 million addresses. So we are seeing continuous growth there on the XRP ledger, which is, of course, amazing to see and something that you definitely don't want to ignore. So let me now share the price targets with you that I have in mind for the short term. So as you can see, XRP indeed broke out of this triangle. We had a retest with the last weekly candle and we're currently seeing somewhat continuation to the upside. Key levels to break right now in the short term are around $3.40 to $3.50 for XRP, because the weekly candles from a few weeks ago got rejected over there. We didn't close above 350 and also here a few wicks in January. So pay attention to that. But let me now share the exact price targets with you that I...
So yeah, I feel like just going from here, the price targets, well, we're not going to be seeing like 50 cents to $700, but I feel like it's also going to be way harder now from 50 cents because this is when all the exchanges listed it. So the real price could be like at $4, people are saying, or $5, $4.5.
Have in mind for XRP. And for this, guys, I'm using the trend-based VIP extension tool, and I'm taking the entire length of this impulse from November and December. And if we project this trend line to the lowest point of the correction, which was $1.61 for XRP on the 7th of April, then we can see that the 0.618 Fibonacci level is the first one to break for XRP at give or take $3.40 indeed. And if we go higher than that, guys, then the next imminent price target for the next few days maybe, or next week or two, could be around $4.50 for XRP.
So that to me is like in the next week or two, I don't think we're going to be hitting $4.5. I really hope so. But I feel like to get to that, it's going to be much harder than people predict.
That is a move upwards of roughly 50% from the current position. But this could be massive resistance for XRP somewhere around $4.50. Maybe we're going to wick above this, but I do not expect close.
So the one he's writing is like October, September. That's way more possible than August. So all of these prices that we see explode, I feel like September is going to start to rally because crypto now takes time with all this regulation. It's definitely not going to be as easy as people think. But yeah, September is going to be like the stepping stone, the start of everything where markets come back. And I'm going to be back in September. I'm going to be here in September. But yeah, we can't like expect September to suddenly go to $7 or $10. I hope I'm surprised. But I want to stay always realistic when talking about this. There's so much to do before we even hit $4.5. It has to stay above $4, then it has to get like $4.20, $4.30, I think is where it's gonna like stop a bit from what I remember from the charts.
Closest above $4.50 in the first instance, maybe some consolidation before eventually the next rally higher for XRP. So pay very close attention.
So yeah, I feel like there's gonna be multiple rallies, especially with multiple rate cuts. So one rally for each rate cut, and then one rally for each ETF, and then it's slowly backing down, going for a new high, slowly backing down. Again, there's a misconception that we're going to be seeing XRP pump to $10,000, like just overnight. It's going to be hard. Yes, it can, like, $7 can happen. Crypto is just getting started, but we got to stay realistic in that part. But who knows? Like, I'm definitely very hyped about that. There's one thing that makes XRP so different from other coins.